To actually grow into who you want to be and live your dream, you have to make some drastic changes. But that's obviously easier said than done. So today I'll show you the 2 ways to fix your life, and whichever one you choose, your life will never be the same. I feel like there are a lot of videos that tell you how to fix your life, but most of them make you feel kind of locked into a certain way of doing things. The way that most people recommend is actually not what I did. I still changed my life completely. There's 2 different doors you can choose to get to the life you want and make the changes necessary in your life. The 2 doors into self-improvement. The changes I'm talking about is going from the guy that sits at home, playing video games, binge watching Netflix or YouTube, eating candy and snacks, scared of talking to people, to actually becoming that guy that gets up at 5 every day, works out, meditates, writes in a journal, works every day on his business and loves to experience life and challenge himself. So I'm not gonna waste time. The first door is habit building. There's a lot of research suggesting that you build a more solid ground, a foundation, by growing a little bit every day and building habits properly while adding more and more, compared to making a drastic change, because chances are you fall right back to your old habits if you try to do that. So with this door, what you're gonna do is basically write down all the good habits that you want and all the shitty habits that you currently have, and then start by slowly cutting down on the bad ones more and more while slowly implementing the good ones. For example, you play video games less and less every week, and you set specific time limits on how much you're allowed. And with the good habits, if we take meditating and working out for example, you start meditating 5 minutes a day and then you raise it to 10 and 15 and 20 minutes. And with working out, you start by going twice a week and then 3, 4, 5 times. The problem I have with this door into self-improvement is that for a long time you will just be kind of in a state between what you were and what you want to be. Of course, you can't just become a new person overnight, but I feel like this stage of the process leaves a lot of room for failure, because you allow yourself to not be the most hardcore guy you know. And if you allow yourself to have room for the bad habits, they're very easily gonna take over. And still having all these bad habits will kind of just make it a slow and painful process. And many people fail by giving into temptation during this stage. If we take, for example, a breakup, you usually break up and it's just no more. It's over. And that's great, right? Because it would ultimately be much harder if you guys would go, oh, we should see each other only 5 times this week, and then 4 times the week after that, and then 3 times the week after that. I mean, that sounds completely insane. That wouldn't work. And the reason it works so well to just break up fully and immediately, and you actually manage to get over the other person, is because you have to. You usually don't have another choice. That's what's so great about it. You don't have the choice to relapse. And that brings me to the second door, changing it all in a day. And I'll admit, this one is risky for the reasons that I stated earlier. This will often lead to you just falling back because it's too much at the same time. But it works when it comes to breaking up with a person, right? Why wouldn't it work when it comes to breaking up with a habit? Well, here's why. Because you still have the option to do it. You still have the option to play video games. You can just start your computer. And that's the only reason it doesn't work. We have the option. So what if we can remove the option? I know it's like a classic thing that you shouldn't have unhealthy food in the house if you're trying to eat healthy, but that's not even really what I'm recommending here. I mean that you need to remove the option mentally. It's not an option to do that thing because you've decided you're not allowed to. If you feel like you really want to do it, your brain shouldn't go, fuck it, I'll just do it this one time. Your brain should go, damn, it really fucking sucks that I'm not allowed to do this thing. I actually got into self-improvement this way because I was in a relationship which was problematic for many reasons that I won't get into right now. But I had been starting to get into self-improvement, but I really hadn't changed anything. I just started meditating 10 minutes a day and that was pretty much it. But overall, I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos about it. Then my girlfriend at the time was on a trip and I knew that we were gonna break up in 2 days when she got back. And I had always had some mental health issues and they got really bad, especially the time I was single before this relationship. Because when I broke up with the girlfriend I had before that, I suddenly didn't have much to distract me from my mental health, which sounds awful. And it kind of was. So I was kind of scared of being single again. And I realized that being the weak person that I was at the time just wasn't gonna cut it. So I started building a schedule of self-improvement full-time, morning to evening. And I decided to start following it when she got back. And suddenly I was kind of excited to break up, honestly. So when she got back, we broke up and I changed my entire life in a day. So it can work. And to me, it felt like I didn't have the option to fall back to my old life because I knew that my life would be terrible. My mental health had always been fucked and I had always been weak. And suddenly I could see in front of me how if I kept going with all these good habits, I could do pretty much whatever I want in life. I can accomplish anything. And I thought that if I would not continue with these habits, if I would fail, I will be the same guy that I used to be. And I knew that I could never afford to be him because he was weak. And it definitely never felt good to be him. So you can choose whichever one of these doors you want because they both work. The important part is that you pick one of them. If you keep being someone that's not constantly trying to grow, you most likely won't grow. And sure, that might not sound scary, but imagine yourself in 10 years with the exact same life that you have right now. Doesn't sound like like fun, does it? So quit watching YouTube. I'm not gonna ask you to watch my other videos or anything because the best thing you can do for yourself right now is shutting down YouTube, bring up Google Docs, create a new document, and start planning for your new life. Your new you. You got this. Now go earn your sleep. And by the way, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Please and thank you.